I've worked with brands like HP. So I've done work with HP, Nike, Adidas. The people that we help the most, the best, however you want to term it,
Yeah.
is companies that are wanting to launch a new product line. I would say SEO was probably our best investment that we've ever made.
Welcome to today's episode of Free to Lead, Journeys of Leaders driven by passion, inspired by purpose. And today I'm joined by Ian Peterman. He's leading the way for conscious design thinking, building a legacy of positive impact for his clients. His design firm specializes in developing and commercializing products and offering branding and marketing for the missions his clients create. He's passionate about green tech, space exploration, and creating meaningful connections through human-centered, planet-friendly brands. Without further ado, Ian, welcome to Free to Lead.
Thanks for having me, Will. Excited to be here.
Yes, it's great. So tell me, what are some of the brands that you've developed?
Yeah, so we worked with quite a few. I've worked with brands like HP. So I've done work with HP, Nike, Adidas, some household names, but oftentimes we work with smaller brands that are not
Yeah.
in the Fortune 500.
Yeah.
So we've helped develop smart home products, launch those, do product development and branding work. We've done kind of industry-wise, we've done, let's see, lightsabers, we've done speakers, we've done IoT products, smart home products. We've done some baby products, medical devices. I get bored pretty easily, so we do.
Yeah.
we keep it broad and interesting.
So do you develop them and then farm that out to get manufactured somewhere else? Is that?
Yeah, so we walk through and internally with our team, we do the design, the engineering, the R&D work, prototyping. We do a lot of prototyping. And then we help our clients. We'll build a supply chain for them. So depending on, some people want the US based, so wherever they want it manufactured, we help figure out who can actually produce at the volumes that they need and work with them on that. And then, yeah, it's a handoff. Once it gets to production, we kind of wind down what we do for everyone.
Yeah.
We'll still be involved in like maybe the brand because we're part of figuring out how to launch the product. So we'll be involved from that standpoint. But yeah, we hand off. We don't manufacture anything.
Right. So how did you get into this? What's your backstory? What's been the journey to get you to here, if you like? We can.
Yeah, I wanted to do this kind of stuff since I was a kid. I grew up. My dad was a designer, and so I learned from him. I actually liked it. Decided, see, I did some work under him when I was younger. So
Yeah.
12, 13, learning some tools. I was really excited about that. So I started learning CAD. And then when I was 16, I got an internship at a telecommunications laser company. That was their main thing. But then I ended up helping them expand into medical and consumer products with their lasers, and still liked it. So pretty much from there, and I ended up working with, like I said, HP, and then started my first design firm. Still liked that. I was actually one of four partners. I'm the only one that still has a design firm now. So that lasted a few years, and then I launched this company on my own, still doing design. So it's been over 20 years now of me doing it and still liking it.
Good. Great. Tell me a little bit about space exploration then. Is that something you've got into in a commercial way, or is that just an interest that you have? Or
So I actually worked, if you remember, it was a while ago now, almost 20 years ago, the SpaceX competition.
yeah.
That it was to, before SpaceX was a company, there was this space competition for trying to replace, I think, the shuttle, and they were and get to the moon. And there was a small one of the contenders was called Soars, and I actually did some CAD work on that.
So,
And
so
that
for those
was,
people listening, that's computer aided design, just in case
yes,
they don't know what that is.
yes, computer aided design, 3D modeling. So I worked on that project as a volunteer, but it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I've always been. I grew up with Star Wars and Star Trek, so kind
Yeah,
of the space thing is there. And yeah, I haven't done really much in that industry since. It's hard to get into,
yeah,
to be honest. It's
yeah,
a pretty locked in, but it always has interested me, and I would love to get back into that
yeah.
industry.
It's funny. I am fairly recently, watched that like a reality movie. What's it called? The Wild Space or something like that. It's called. Do you know the movie?
Okay.
Talk about the rocket
Sounds familiar.
getting into space and launching the satellites and all of that whole race that was going on with that. That's what I thought you were talking about when you said the SpaceX race.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was a I remember that one too. But no, there was one for human space vehicle design. It was the first X Prize.
Oh, yeah, well, that's different. We're talking two different things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called this, the Wild Space, the movie. It's really interesting about how many satellites are now sitting in the kind of orbit of Earth. It's like hazardous with so many of them.
It's one of those things. Space junk is a problem, and I've been watching. There's some companies finally starting to try to address it, but it's
Yeah,
one of those crazy things. We've spent so much money putting stuff up there, and a lot of it doesn't work anymore. But it's still it's still, even from a material standpoint, there's tons of gold and platinum and
yeah.
all these other expensive materials just floating up there.
Well, there you go. That's the gap in the market. Somehow creating a vacuum cleaner or something that filters out the whole of the junk from space. I mean, you got to be careful. There's some very expensive in-service equipment flying around there as well, right? So,
Yeah, there's some companies looking at developing like a almost kind of like a space barge basically, and
hmm.
going and grabbing different satellites that are just they don't work anymore or whatever. There's no way to repair them, and start to
Yeah,
try to collect it and then recycle it in space is, I think,
sure.
the goal.
Yeah,
But we're a ways away from from that happening.
right, right. Well, it could be the next evolution. All right, great. And then inside of leadership, I mean, yes, you've been into design, but you've had your own company for 20 years. So how many people do you employ and um, how's that all work?
Yeah, so we have a core team of about 10, and then we have, depending on project, I think the most we've had contractors on top of that is about 20, 25.
Mhm.
Um, and I learned all leading a business and running teams. It's all been kind of on my own. I didn't really have a managerial role
Yeah,
before jumping into running my own companies. So I've just kind of learned on the fly
yeah,
how how to do that.
yeah,
But at this point, we have an international team. We have people all over the world with our contractors and core team. So it's a very dynamic
yeah.
group, and it's been trial by fire in a way, but I think I have a hang of it now. We'll see.
Right.
There's always more to learn.
Yeah, good. And if people were listening in who may not know it or may know it, well, let's say they don't know that they could use your services, how would you introduce your services to those people?
Yeah,
Like
so
potential clients that don't actually know you exist or that you could provide for them. So who would those be?
the people that we help the most, the best, however you want to term it,
Yeah,
is companies that are wanting to launch a new product line. Um, so we really help in the R&D phase and
yeah,
figuring out what the product is, how does it need to work, what are the features, some of that early market research. So we do the validation too of should you be developing the product? Is there is there a market for it?
yeah,
Should you invest millions into this, or should we figure out something else? So we work on that end, and then our branding team, we really focus on, okay, we have a product. How do you actually launch it? What is the most efficient and highest chance of success way to actually put this into the market? How are we gonna advertise? Are we doing social media? Like what's the go-to-market strategy? And so we focus on those two areas.
Yeah.
And we have a ton of partners for all the other areas we don't touch. We have people we can bring in to support that, but our core is figuring out and developing the product and then figuring out how to launch it into the market. So
And what kind of products would you be launching for people, or they would come to you with?
we are really industry agnostic. We do everything. So we've done the things that we stay away. We don't do weapons. We don't do medical device that goes under the skin. If it's on
Okay.
top of the skin, we'll do that. If
Yeah.
it's under, we have some people to send you to. We
Right.
we have the resource, but we don't touch it.
Right.
Pretty much everything else, though, we do consumer goods. We do commercial products. We like to do everything and not get narrowed down. So our team is a very diverse team.
That must be quite difficult to promote, because there's this adage, certainly in coaching anyway, if you coach everybody, you don't really coach anybody. So the coaching for coaches, when I coach coaches, is you got to pick a niche. You got to pick that's your guy. That's who you want to coach, you know? For me,
Well,
it's
if
leaders.
we were to pick a niche, it would be companies that care about sustainability. Like
Great.
we
Okay.
worked heavily in materials, so we have all that experience in that. What we've found, and maybe see what you think about this, we found that we spent a lot of time trying to correct information about it, because a lot of people think that it's super expensive to make a more sustainable product,
Hmm.
and it actually is. There's so many new materials, there's so many new options. So what we kind of have done is, rather than trying to convince everybody that they should make something more sustainable, we just do it. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the project, go, hey, by the way, here's some, it's more sustainable. It has these features. Your marketing team's going to love it. Here's some
Hmm.
more things your marketing team can use when you're advertising, right? Here's key features. We've
Yes.
increased that for you. And we found out that strategy works better because almost always it's more efficient. So we're really looking at how to make a product more efficient. And most of the time that turns into a more sustainable product with better selling features. We kind of chased down that direction of going, oh, we're a sustainable product development company. But we ended up having to convince people that that was actually a smart way to go.
Right. Versus that's what you prefer to do. You find the materials and then recommend those materials, and at the end, it sounds good anyway. So everyone's happy.
Right. Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. For example, bamboo is one of those products, right? It seems to be coming up in clothing, in utensils in the kitchen, to, turn it into fabric, paper, all sorts of things. So it's a very universal material, if you like.
Oh yeah. It's one of the more popular ones. Hemp, now that especially in the US, around the world, it's been available industrially, but with the US opening, 9 years ago now, that's
Yeah.
become a growing material. And there's all kinds of cool stuff where they use like mushroom roots, mycelium, to make packaging material out of it. And you can make different kinds of leather-like replacements that are, right, mushrooms are actually one of the one of the options you can make, but there's
Oh,
companies that's done it with cactus. There's so many unique options out there now. It's not really, can it be done? It's you got to find the material. There's somebody out there that's created an alternative material that's more sustainable. And sometimes it's a little more expensive, but depending on if you're really marketing to those people, that they've come out with another study, and basically every year the study says the same thing, which is people will pay more if it is more environmentally friendly. And
right.
so that has always been true for the last 5 years. It
Yeah.
hasn't always been true, but now
Yeah.
it's been consistently true. So we're able to, with that, increase prices a little bit to absorb any of the costs, and then you have a better product.
So, what's your biggest challenge, would you say, right now with this?
10. I've been doing it for over 20 years, but the
Oh, I
business the
see.
business is about 10.
Right.
But I'd say, I mean, I think it's a pretty usual business thing is finding more customers.
Mm.
Because what we do is very cyclical, right? We come in, we do our job. If we do our job well, we're not needed again for a while.
Right.
sometimes
Right. Until there's
sometimes
another product.
years.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Very
Um,
good.
Yeah, because if companies, they're not, unless you're like Apple or something where you're launching a new product every year. Most companies are on like a 3 to 5 year cycle where they
Right.
will develop a product, launch it, and then they'll run it for a while before they need to recover their investments, turn a profit before they turn around and launch a new product typically. So our, our sales cycle, we will do the work, and then we may not do anything for for another 3 to 5 years with that same company. So
Right. Right.
we're always the churn. I think is one of the difficulties in what we do is not that the clients are happy, they have their product, but there's just no our services are not needed for a while.
Right. 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 Well, that's something to be actively researching all the time, I imagine.
Yes, yeah, we're constantly doing business development and reaching out to new companies, and we grow mostly by referrals, but we're exploring some more active options now because I really want to scale the company faster. It's done well. It's grown over
Yeah.
the years, but I'd like to grow faster now.
Right. And what do you think would help you grow faster? I mean, it's all right saying more customers, obviously, right? But what kind of things do you think would help?
I mean, the things that I can tell you what we've been has done well before, and that has been, I would say SEO was probably our best investment that we've ever made.
Ah, good.
Um,
Yeah.
and I used to write a lot more. And I can tell you that because we slowed down our SEO, and now we're realizing that was a mistake.
Oh, well, you
um,
slowed it down on purpose.
we just got well, actually, we got busy with other work, and we
Right.
kind of let it go. And then we've been tracking how things have been, and realized that SEO was actually the main reason we were getting clients. So
Right.
like we used to run a blog and things like that, and we're starting that back up again because it
Yeah.
works.
Yes.
But it's one of those things you don't think about when it's just working, and then you realize if you actually look at stuff later, you're like, oh, that was what was working. We need need to do that again.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you could create, well, it's probably there already, but on social media, if you were to go really into it, you could be talking about sustainable products and how you're integrating them and, the new markets and then this and then that. And we're doing it in this and we're doing it in that. You could be talking all day on that stuff, posting stuff and,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah, that's something that we've been talking about actually. And because we haven't been super active on social media outside of, I run a podcast as well, so I've kind of
yes,
been distracted by doing that,
yes,
and then realizing that, oh yeah, the firm, we need to be posting things that are not about the podcast. We need to we
yeah,
need to look like we're actually a design firm. So it's like you said, there's so much to talk about, and you just have to go do it. And
yeah.
that's the rub right there, is you gotta
Right there.
actually
That's
do
right. That's right.
it.
Getting over whatever that stop to just doing more of it is, because it's where the world's going. Richard Branson said the most important thing to invest in is your brand.
It's always been, it's funny, people, even companies that have a brand that, but if they're smaller, it sometimes takes quite a bit to help people understand how valuable the brand is, and
Mm.
why it's worth investing. Because that's true. Like, I think it's Coca-Cola's brand. If you were to like not count any physical assets, but just their logo and brand recognition, I think it's worth like $2.4 billion
Wow.
just by itself. Like that logo is worth
Yeah.
that now because of how well recognized it's a globally recognized brand. So you throw that on anything and
Yeah.
people will look at it and buy something. So
Yeah.
it's the value is there. And that's why we really tie in the branding side of things with the product, because if you do that well, you end up the brand will become stronger and the brand's going to help you sell more products later.
Yeah. Very great. All right, great. Well, if there happens to be people in the audience who think, oh, well, I really want to try out this, or I want to talk about this idea that I have, how would they find you?
Best place is petermanfirm.com, so our website, but we do have social media accounts at Peterman Firm.
Yeah.
They don't look active, but we do respond. So feel free to reach out any of those, and you can just find me too pretty easily on LinkedIn as just Ian Peterman. And if you look me up, I'm there.
Great. And you have your podcast. What's your podcast?
Podcast is called Conscious Design, and I interview companies that are doing sustainable products for the most part and share what they're doing.
Great. Awesome. I may have some potential people for your podcast. I've forgotten the name for it.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, I would love that. Would love it if you send over. That would be great. We're always looking for guests that are doing cool things in that world. So
yes. All right. Very great. All right. Well, Ian, it's been great having you on Free to Lead. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.